Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Sports Time HQ. I am your host, Fernando. Joining with me today is not one co-host, but we got also a guest star here. For the first time during the season, we got ourselves a guest star. You may have seen him, you may have not, but I'll let him introduce himself as well. But it is Mr. Ian Nicholas. You may see him on Draper Media as an anchor, reporter, and commentator. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm a Giants fan, so I've been in agony for quite some time. And I know they had some Super Bowls, but I only started rooting for the team in 2013. So really, do those count for me? Not so much. At least that's how I look at it. But excited to talk about, anything and anything NFL. Waking up early for the international games and rolling through the night. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, we got ourselves already a game going on. Gary, what's the current score here looking like?
7-7 apiece. It's a pretty good game so far, so might want to turn it on.
Yeah, might want to turn it on indeed. It's I think the Browns scored first, no, Gary?
Yeah. They just got the ball back because the Vikings scored as well.
Okay. Well, Ian, if you don't know, Gary is a Browns fan, unfortunate. So I think he has it a little bit worse than you.
Totally. I mean, at least they have two quarterbacks maybe they can pick from for the future. We have one who's the Messiah, apparently.
Oh, my God. I mean, Jackson Dart doesn't look too bad. I actually don't mind Jackson Dart.
I mean, that first drive looked phenomenal.
It was great.
Obviously, the first drive is always probably going to look better than any of the other ones just because you can script it a little bit more. It was, gritty is a little bit of an overused term, but I think he was super kind of gritty in the way that he took a lot of hits and he was kind of running for his life because the offensive line, typical Giants offensive line, not good. He's provided the team a spark, which is nice. They haven't had that for a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely adds the spark that I think the Browns have been hoping for. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Dylan Gabriel. We'll see what happens with Dylan Gabriel. He doesn't look too bad, Gary. So, but again, still early. Still early. I think Shedeur Sanders is also currently the emergency quarterback today. I do believe that was announced. Who knows? But let's get into some news and notes before we dive into some of the start and sit questions. Bad Bunny, he is to headline and perform at the Super Bowl 55 halftime show. What is your thoughts and reactions to this?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he hosted SNL last night, Saturday Night Live, and I haven't actually watched his monologue, but pretty good timing there to announce earlier in the week that he's on the halftime show, and then he kind of addressed all of what I think is for a decent amount blowback, or at least that's kind of my perspective on it. And he kind of got out in front of it and said, hey, you can learn a little Spanish in the next few months and you'll enjoy my music. Honestly, I don't know that much Spanish, although I took it for 10 years. Just went in one ear and out the other, unfortunately. But I don't really
¿No puedes hablar español?
Un poquito. A little bit. But I guess the point being, I think his music, is easy to vibe to. It's super well produced, and he's a lot of fun, and he seems like a good performer. So you know what? I think it will be a good halftime show. It's not like I really had anybody else in mind, but I really cared to do it. I thought it was going to be Taylor Swift. I think everybody kind of thought it would be. Yeah. People were even saying she was dropping Easter eggs when she went on the Kelsey Brothers podcast a couple of weeks ago to promote her new album, but I don't really care. It is what it is. People are going to make a fuss about everything these days, but he's massive. He's one of the biggest superstars in the world.
Yeah, that's true. Gary, your thoughts?
I mean, he's got some great songs as a non-Spanish speaker. I mean, anytime you hear a Bad Bunny song, you're probably going to move along to it a little bit. However, do I think it fits a Super Bowl halftime show? Probably not, especially in America, but that's just my opinion. I know there will be a lot of people that are getting down to his stuff, so I know there'd be a lot of people that are really happy with him being the halftime show.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good vibe of the Super Bowl halftime show. Ian, like you said, I'm going to have to learn a little bit more Spanish. I took it for 4 years. But I'm going to have to learn a little bit more to understand this music. But I'm excited. I think it's something different that we're not used to seeing at a halftime show. And I think that also is the reason why we've seen a lot of backlash, like you mentioned, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, people found a way to not like Kendrick last year. They're always going to find a way not to be happy. I thought Kendrick was great last year, but
Yeah, I thought he was good.
you're never gonna bat 1,000 with these.
When you dive deeper into what he did and like the message he was actually giving, it was actually a really cool halftime show. You really looked into it more.
Yeah, 100%.
Some more information just for this week is we have 4 teams in a bye week, guys. We are already on bye week number. We're already on the 5th week of the season, first week of the bye weeks. I feel like this has gone so quick. It's gone very, very quick. Already 5 weeks in. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Steelers. So hopefully everyone has set their lineups for this week because Bijan, Drake London, Caleb Williams, Roma Dunze, and many more players that you have on the Packers and Steelers as well. I mean, make sure you sit these guys and start some guys from the waivers if you need to. Also, Ian, I don't know, you're a Giants fan, but I don't know if you have heard Giants owner John Mara was diagnosed with cancer. We hope that he has a speedy recovery and can get back to his operations back as a Giants owner.
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, when you think of the Giants, you think of the Mara family. I feel bad that the team hasn't really been very good as of late. And I know he kind of made headlines. Mara did a couple of years ago, not for the wrong reasons, but, Hard Knocks did the offseason edition, which was one and done because the Giants looked so awful on that show that they had to scrap it for every other team because no way any other team is going to agree to that. And the creme de la creme of that kind of show was, Joe Shane saying, we don't need Saquon Barkley. And John Mara is like, I don't know if I could sleep at night if he went to another team. And, Eagles Super Bowl, I don't need to tell that whole story. We know it happened. But going back to John, I mean, dude represents the organization so well. The team has been within his family for the last, century. And the Giants are pretty much a century old at this point. So, although the Giants haven't been the best team in the last 10 or 15 years, that family has always repped the organization, I think, with class. They're one of – I was almost thinking when I was looking before this, I kind of like the Ford family in Detroit. Just kind of those – it's cool. It's cool that we still have a couple of those families in sports in the NFL with these billionaires kind of taking over every single year. And kind of, trying to infuse what they think is going to fix a team. But, these are kind of the mainstays of the league.
Oh, yeah, I think this actually, Gary, I haven't had you mention your side of things. I'll let you talk first as well.
No, I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. Basically just, hopefully for a speedy recovery. Of course, obviously they haven't been great recently, but it's bigger than football, of course. And, we're all one big football family at the end of the day, all, fans of football and players and coaches, whoever. We all come together for the same reason, loving football. And, of course, this thing is bigger than football. So hopefully he gets well soon.
Ian, I'll ask quickly, what was your reactions when Saquon Barkley first left the Giants and signed with the Eagles?
I mean, first of all, he hasn't been great this year. Apparently, I haven't really watched that much of the Eagles yet because they're so hard to watch. But he was not this good of a player with the Giants for the most part, right? And that goes back to the situation. I mean, his rookie year, he was fantastic, and he dealt with injuries. The team was abysmal. I still think I'm kind of in the camp that running backs in general are not very valuable. I just think that the situation needs to be right for the guys to produce at their best. And I think if the situation's right, then a lot of running backs can produce at a pretty high level. There are a couple guys who separate themselves from the pack, and Saquon is one of those guys, like a McCaffrey, like a Derrick Henry when he doesn't have butterfingers, like guys who really can elevate the offense and aren't just the rest of the pack. So to get back to your question, I wasn't that upset that he left because the team wasn't good, and I didn't feel like they needed to, like Joe Shane was kind of saying a couple of years ago, didn't need to invest all of that money into the position. They had bigger needs. Seeing him go to the Eagles and win the Super Bowl, and I think Eagles fans are pretty annoying personally, that kind of, ticked me off a little bit. Maybe like once they actually won the whole thing, maybe it was a little annoying because it just became that much bigger of a narrative. But at the time, honestly, I wasn't really that broken up about it. I guess I should have been.
I mean, compared to where you guys are to where the Eagles are anyways. But I would have been upset too if we lost someone like Saquon Barkley. I am a Patriots fan. I'll let that be known. You guys, I know who you guys have, but you guys, I can't. I hate your Giants. You guys beat us multiple times.
You should, yeah.
We
Eli pulled the rabbit out of the hat twice.
Yeah, Eli Manning's the curse. Next up on the news agenda is Mark Sanchez, former NFL quarterback, as we all know, and current Fox Sports analyst. He is in stable condition, but it was an odd news report. I just wasn't expecting to see a news report coming around with it, but he was stabbed in Indianapolis. He went to the hospital. Then he was in stable condition, and next thing you know, he's arrested for 3 alleged misdemeanor charges in an overnight incident. And I'm like, this escalation I was like, man, Mark Sanchez, is he okay? And so now he's getting arrested. I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. We obviously don't know why he really got arrested, unless you guys heard anything.
I haven't heard the real story yet. But it was kind of just, I agree with you, kind of crazy last night. I just randomly saw that he was stabbed, and then now I saw he was in critical condition at first, and then now he's good, but he's being arrested. So apparently the altercation happened because of him, and I still have yet to hear exactly like what ended up transpiring. But that's why I know he was arrested, and I'm assuming the stabbing was in self-defense. If I would just, use context clues there, but more to come on that later, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people came to rally and support Sanchez in that initial wave of news, and I'd be curious to see after the second development, which is, Sanchez kind of brought this on himself, it would appear. How many people deleted those tweets, stories, whatever. Like, that's when you really find out who your real friends are, if you're Mark Sanchez. But it seemed like he made a couple of mistakes, also appeared to be intoxicated according to one of the misdemeanors. So
I did see that.
Maybe he was having a little bit too much of a good time before the game. I know we probably don't really want to speculate there. And, one thing leads to another. And, he ended up in the hospital after a wild night. But if you're Mark Sanchez, it's going to be, blasted for the world to see. Hopefully, I think he's a good commentator and a good analyst in the game. So, hopefully this doesn't derail his whole career. But it seems like he messed up here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big blow because obviously if he is accused of this and he gets charged with this, he probably won't be announcing anymore, which is kind of sad to see because like you mentioned, he was actually a really good announcer. Not so good on the field, but he was a good announcer, which is sad to see. But I mean, it's just that one mistake can cost you the career. Obviously, we don't know. We'll find out, but still. Going on to some other ones. We got 2 undefeated teams left. The Bills and plug your ears in, but the Eagles. Do we have an idea of who we think could go the farthest between these 2 teams?
Ooh.
I don't know the remaining schedules, to be totally honest with you. If I had to pick, I'll just go with the Eagles. But
Well, I'll give you a
both of
hint.
them.
They could both go undefeated all the way until December 29th when they face each other.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, depending on where that game is played, that might be a big thing. But I'll
Philadelphia.
I'll stick with the Eagles.
You know what? I'll say the Eagles too, only because maybe this is a bit of a cop-out, but I think they have a really tough game tonight. And against your Patriots, right? I mean, first couple of weeks, I don't know, maybe you don't feel as confident. Recent history, Bills have reversed that kind of skid, because I know, Brady and the Pats own the Bills when he was there. I just think that the Pats have looked good the last couple of weeks, right? And I'm a big Drake May guy. I went to Syracuse, so ACC football, I have an appreciation for it. He was a beast at North Carolina. I love what he's doing up there in New England. Vrabel obviously seems like the right guy. The team seems to really, outside of Stephon Diggs not being super satisfied, I guess. Team seems to be on the right page. I think they can give him a real test tonight. That's not what are you guys, 2-2? I think you guys are probably one of the better 2-2 teams in the league. So
wow,
yeah,
you think so?
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt, but I just think that young roster helps. I feel like you guys are only going to get. You guys, in theory, should only get better as the year goes on.
I'm excited because the way you just said that, because I'm picking the Bills to win tonight. In my prediction, they also are favored by 7.5, I believe, is the spread. I think because it's in Buffalo, it's hard, but I do agree. It's obviously a divisional game. I mean, it's always going to be a tough game, division-wise. And that's why when you're doing survivor picks, I always say to myself, I said, you can't pick a survivor pick when it's division versus division teams, because it's so much of a toss-up. We could see the Browns beating the Ravens, or somehow the Giants beating the Eagles. And just because it's a division game, that's why.
Unless it's the Giants against the Cowboys. They haven't done that in like 10 years.
That's true. Winless teams. We're down to 3. Titans, Jets, and the Saints. I think we can all agree on that maybe the Titans and Saints were not surprised are still here. Jets, on the other hand, I think I'm a little surprised, because I had some hope with Justin Fields, but I think it just hasn't gone the way that the Jets have wanted. But I think that they could have a bounce back with the Cowboys this week.
Well, I mean, Fields, he played a majority of the Bills game, but he's only played 2 fully healthy games, and he himself has looked good. So I don't want to necessarily say that it's his fault that they're not winning the games. The defense, honestly, has looked really bad. Like, they are supposed to be a defense that, like, the past couple of years we're assuming is just great, but they have not been that this year. Of course, they lost a couple of guys, but you think they have, Sauce Gardner still, who's the catalyst for that defense, and they just have not looked great as a unit so far. I think that is the biggest thing with this team this year, because that's the biggest change, I think, from past couple of years. Obviously, new quarterback, Justin Fields, like I mentioned, but I think he's been playing fine in the fully healthy games that he's had. Also, they've just had some tough opponents. So that doesn't really surprise me that they're sitting at 0-4.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they've done it has been pretty embarrassing, typical kind of
for sure.
Jet.
For sure.
mean, that quote from Breece Hall, what did he say? Some teams, shoot themselves in the foot, and I don't know, something ridiculous that he said. We're just like, yeah, you've been a Jet for life. I feel for you, Breece. I mean, Fields is a bridge quarterback. He's a fun bridge quarterback, and he was a former high draft pick, so people always find ways to get excited about him before every season. But I think that is what he is at the end of the day. I know this is kind of the era of the reclamation project quarterback. And, I'm not saying Fields doesn't have the same amount of talent as guys who have turned it around, like Baker Mayfield in Tampa, or Sam Darnold in Minnesota, and now Seattle. But, those guys all went to really great situations where there were either a lot of playmakers, a good play caller, or both. And the Jets never seem to really have any of that. I mean, outside of Garrett Wilson, his college buddy. So, I mean, maybe we thought they'd be a little more frisky this year, a little more competitive. I do agree with you, though. I think the Cowboys, are always on fraud watch and could lose tonight.
It would be crazy because the Cowboys obviously just ended in a tie, which I want to quickly circle to the tie because I love that both teams get the possession, but if both teams are getting a possession, why do we not have it back to a 15-minute quarter versus a 10-minute quarter?
I agree.
I think overtime rules have changed way too much for my liking the last few years. I feel like I don't know. Not to say that they haven't been good changes. I just feel like across the board there have been so many changes in the NFL and college that I don't really know what's what anymore. Maybe I'm a casual. But the extra period is always going to put more strain on your body. So 5 extra minutes is not really going to do that much harm. So I agree there.
Yeah, I think because obviously now at this point, at the end of the second possession, most likely, like we saw last week, they're kicking for a tie. And we almost had it on Thursday Night Football too. If it wasn't for Sean McVay not going for it, I mean, we would have saw that. So I don't know. I think it's something I think should be addressed in the offseason, but I do agree, and I feel like it's just been changing every single season. Some way there's a little tweak to it.
Yeah, it was nice to see. One last thing there. It was nice to see everybody agreeing that they hate ties. We can't agree on anything anymore, but everybody's like, this sucked. So, that's good.
It's just crazy because like I don't like it's cool seeing a tie once in a while because you're like, wow, like it's so hard to see a tie, but at the same time, ties make sense in soccer. I just don't see ties making sense in
because you get a point for it. It's like
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you get a point for it here, if we went to a point system, then all right, I'm okay with getting a tie. But there's no points being added here. It's just a win-loss record. So, but yeah, I just wanted to have a little spiel on that first. Let's go through some of the fantasy injury reports for this week before we get to some starts and sits questions. JJ McCarthy, obviously, we know that he's dealing with that ankle injury, still out. Of course, Lamar Jackson, hamstring injury, he is out. Cooper Rush to start against Houston. Tell me, are you willing to start Cooper Rush this week?
No.
In fantasy?
I mean,
in fantasy.
No. Absolutely
Listen, I know some people who are dealing with this in Superflex leagues. They need to get a second quarterback, and they're talking about Cooper Rush being the starter on their team.
Maybe like 14 teams Superflex leagues, like maybe, but even then, I don't know. That's
I'd rather take a chance on a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback like a Rattler or a Dart or a Ward and hope they can just run than take my chance on that statue in Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush could get some points, I must say. There's a chance. There's a chance he could score like 15 plus points. I'm not saying to go out of your way, go pick him up and go start him, but I'm just saying, just understand that he could put up 15 points.
Okay.
Just saying.
I think they're going to run the ball more now too, which is kind of crazy.
I do too.
Because they're the Ravens and you think they run the ball a lot, but apparently they just haven't been running the ball a bunch on early downs, and it's like really coming back to bite them so far. So I think they're going to make more of an effort to do that, and I just don't think he's going to throw the ball much at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. We'll see what happens then. Let's go on to Brock Purdy. We obviously know was out on Thursday Night Football, but I do want to mention that there's a possibility that he might actually be week to week now and could miss even more time. So this is something to monitor. And must say, Mac Attack. I don't know why, but he somehow is looking good when he's not in New England.
Dude, even when Purdy comes back, like they have a conversation to make. I mean, no, they
can't.
don't.
Can you?
No, they
You
don't.
just paid
No.
the guy $50 million.
Right, exactly. No, they don't, because they just paid him $50 million, so they have to play him. But it's like at the same time, if you look past the contract numbers, I mean, Mac Jones for some reason been playing phenomenal, especially with the banged up offense that he's been given. So it's actually kind of crazy how good he's been playing. Maybe it's just a magical 3 or 4 game stretch, whatever it's been. But I've really liked what I've seen from Mac Jones so far. It's crazy to say that.
Yeah, I think again, guy found himself in the right situation. Apparently the 49ers were super interested in him when he came out of Bama. And it didn't end up happening, right? They ended up, I forget who they ended up picking, but Trey Lance, I think.
Yeah.
That certainly worked. Not.
Yeah. Right.
So I think Shanahan's always thought that he could do good work with Mac Jones. And I think it's great that you guys did bring up, this offense is pretty not good. It's not good right now in terms of personnel, but just the way that they get him in a rhythm, they just get him going so much easier than he had to in New England or Jacksonville. I already forgot he was a Jaguar.
Yeah.
I saw him as a Jaguar in London. He was terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, the Jaguars are terrible, even when they play in their second home of London. We'll see. I'm happy for him because it's been a struggle for him in the league for sure.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do want to mention, I forget if it was First Take or something, but there was a throwback. I think it was Dan Orlovsky that mentioned it. He mentioned that Kyle Shanahan actually wanted Mac Jones back in that draft, but ended up taking Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. Now, he has Mac Jones. Mac Jones is 3-0. My question to you guys is, maybe we will have a debate once Brock Purdy comes back if Mac Jones does continue to play phenomenal, but do you think any quarterback could succeed right now on the 49ers?
I mean, I want to say yes, but it's like they're banged up right now. So, I really don't know.
Well, Mac Jones, he's 3-0.
I know he is, and that's why I'm saying it's unbelievable that I'm saying I love the way Mac Jones is playing right now, but he's playing out of his mind without his wide receiver 1 for the most part. Mm-hmm. Granted, he has literally the MVP Christian McCaffrey, who gets 30 targets a game, which is just diabolical because why isn't a running back getting wide receiver 1 targets? I don't know. But if you drafted him in fantasy, you're feeling pretty damn good. But yeah, it's just crazy. I don't think that every quarterback would be able to succeed in this 49ers offense right now. I think Mac Jones is just cooking with gas, to be honest with you.
I think you have to have the kind of I like the way you finished that. He's kind of cooking the way. I think you can't really have an ego as a quarterback if you play for that offense. And what I mean by that is the way that they play the position, it's a lot of dink and dunk, screen game, short passing game. Super efficient, super reliable. We saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo. He ran the offense really well. He never got a lot of respect for what he did. Same thing with Brock Purdy. Guy put up monster numbers 2 years ago, but everyone thinks he's kind of this big fraud. Or at least some people, I think it's fair to say they don't think he really is that good. Not saying I'm that person. That's just kind of the narrative.
And I think you can say it, Ian. You can say if you're that person.
I mean, I wanted to be that guy, but then I did look at his stats from 2 years ago, and I'm 10 yards an attempt, 4-1 touchdown interception. I'm that's still pretty good. I'm not going to take it away from the guy. I think you need to find a guy who is really willing to buy in, has a quick release, and can hit the short throws consistently, which is not easy. A lot of guys can hit the deep ball, but they can't make the easy throws. So I think not every quarterback, a very specific kind of quarterback, though, can succeed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess we'll see. I think it's going to be more interesting to see if Mac Jones continues to keep winning, because if he continues to keep winning and then Brock Purdy comes back and say, for instance, Brock Purdy loses the first game he's back, then we really have a question.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, he is set to start against the Chargers. Obviously, you're not benching Jaden Daniels. You're starting him regardless. Running backs. Tajay Spears, he's been activated from the IR versus Arizona. Bucky Irving, he's dealing with a foot injury. He will be out against Seattle. Let me ask you guys, are you plugging and playing Rachaad White this week?
I am if you have him.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to say no. And this is not a valid take whatsoever, but I don't know how many touches Rachaad White will get because their number 3 running back is elite. Syracuse legend.
Oh, that's right. Syracuse legend, yeah.
Sean Tucker.
Man.
And
yep.
he's
I have him in my dynasty.
See, yeah, like people, like it's not just me. I'm not just a homer. Like people, occasionally when he has gotten the ball, I think he maybe returned a kick for a touchdown last year for the Bucs. Like he can do some things, and I'm sure they want to see what he can do with an expanded role. So I'm not saying he's gonna have a 30-point game or anything, but I don't know if it's gonna be like 90% snap count for Rachaad White. Maybe he's a decent flex play, but I don't think he's like a set it and forget it guy just because Bucky's out.
That I agree with. I'm plugging him in at the flex, and that's kind of why, man. I'm not starting him, anything more than that. But yeah, man, Sean Tucker. I actually thought I was going to be going to Syracuse when I was picking my school, so
really,
I started.
And then you chose my school.
And then until I got the package and saw how much money I'd be spending out of my own pocket.
Don't need to remind me of that.
I made that decision pretty easy. But yeah, I started to pay attention a little bit to Syracuse football, and at the time, Sean Tucker, I think that was like the year before he went to the draft, or it might have been the year after. But he was a dog. He was a beast at Syracuse, and I've been following him for a little bit. And yeah, I mean, if he gets a shot like in the backfield, then maybe he could turn into something. Who knows?
Yeah, like maybe Rachaad has a good game, but Tucker gets the goal line touchdown, and it's just like
possible.
I'm not saying right. So who knows? Bucky Irving, though, I mean, I don't think he's underrated anymore, but I've actually watched a little bit more of him with the Bucs being like a really fun team this year. Man, that guy is great. So he fits that offense, man. Yeah.
Did you, Ian, obviously, did you go into Syracuse? Did you ever have the chance to interview Sean Tucker?
Not like one-on-one, but, there's like weekly media opportunities for like the local media to, kind of pull players and see, try to get storylines throughout the week. He's a little soft-spoken. He wasn't the most great player on the field. Was a little, I don't want to say dull, but, he just wasn't the most interesting dude off the field. Seemed like a nice guy. I liked his the guy who replaced him with Quinn Allen, who's now with the Jaguars. He was a little more fun. He was a little wild. You never knew what LeQuint was going to say. He was a good guy. And both were good guys. But definitely had the chance to hear from Sean a little bit here and there.
Let me ask you, because obviously Syracuse D1 versus Gary and I's school. D3. Did you when you were interviewing after the game, post-game interviews and everything, were the players always asking you the questions like, oh, what are the questions going to be like?
I mean, I've definitely had those interactions with athletes before. I think the only time I really got that in college is when I was talking to like a player on the women's lacrosse team for like a class project, and she wasn't like one of the feature players. And again, it's women's lacrosse, so they don't have as many media opportunities. And she was like a little scared, and I was like, I'm tossing you layup questions. Like, you're good, don't worry. Like, I'm not gonna this is a puff piece on you. But with the bigger sports, no, because I don't know, it just wasn't that kind of setting. It was usually a group setting. So you can't really, just announce to a whole group what are your questions beforehand if it's going to last like 10 or 15 minutes. So occasionally, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know every time I was doing post-game interviews, they would always be like, what's the questions? I'm not ready for this. I need to know the questions. I'm not prepared. And then like you would have like men's soccer for our school. I'd be like, you want to know the questions? They're like, nah, I got this. And they'll just go with the flow, which I just think is more natural versus telling the questions. But some of them, they were like, nah, we want to know the questions before we go on and this and that. So yeah, I was curious to ask.
I think I mean, I know we're kind of going off on a journalistic tangent
No,
here.
no, let's go for it.
But I just think, as long as you can kind of, obviously at that point, the athletes are just kind of scared out of their mind. They think it's this big ordeal. It really isn't. I think as long as you're kind of like, look, I'll ask you maybe a little this, a little that. I mean, if they want like a full written list, then you know what? They can go kick rocks. Like, I can't do that for you. But if you need to kind of calm them down a little bit, reassure them, maybe throw them one question you're going to ask. Usually I find after you do that, they're like, okay, we're cool.
Okay.
Anywho, that's interviewing 101, I guess. Not really.
Yeah. I enjoyed interviewing. I loved interviewing the players. I thought it was so fun. At one point, I don't know did Syracuse allow you to interview the other teams if they won?
Yeah, usually after football, basketball, and men's lacrosse, the opposing head coach would come up to the podium first. So those were some cool. And then if we were on the road, then definitely, because we were in the press conferences in the road, stadium, the coach was always going to come out in their road stadium because it was their home stadium. I know I'm not making much sense there, but
I kind of have an understanding.
Yeah, we didn't really get to talk much with the opposing players, but you'd usually always get the opportunity to after the game, hear from the opposing head coach if you wanted to hear from them if they're if they were interesting enough for you had to do a story on the game as a whole.
That's actually pretty cool. See, for instance, my school, again, we were 2022 Division III national champions for baseball. No need to flex on that. But after the 2022 season, a lot of teams, they were spoiled because they had COVID years. So once the COVID players were officially graduated, the teams were not that great. And we'll end this little spiel of journalistic stuff. But I was like, you know what? I want to do more interviews. So I started interviewing the other teams. Our players on our teams would get a little salty and everything. And then our athletic director ended up actually telling us that we're no longer allowed to interview the other teams.
That's so petty.
I was like, that's so messed up. I was like, we suck. Why can't we still interview the other teams? It's experience for us.
Yeah, like even way back in high school, like if I was broadcasting like a game on YouTube and I'd like clip a highlight from the other school, my buddies would be like, and this is why we don't like your broadcast. I'm like, chill. Like, you lost, bro. Like, I'm going to post the clip. So it's like kind of the same thing. It's like, man, like, I'm just trying to have fun, get experience, dude. It's not that deep. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. We got some start sits questions flying in. We're going to take a look at them real quick. Let's just quickly go through the last couple notes. This all started from a Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker incident.
That's awesome.
Let's go into before wide receivers. Chuba Hubbard, calf strain, he's out versus Miami. Rico Dowdle, guys, are you guys starting? Are you guys willing to start Rico Dowdle if you need to? Running backs have been brutal this year. Are you willing to start Rico Dowdle this year?
I am.
I mean, based on volume alone, he's a viable flex. But man, exactly that is a JV offense they're running over there with an offensive coach, which is not good for Dave Canales.
Okay. I think I'm okay starting him, but I'm starting him with very cautious unless I'm starting Rachaad White over Rico Dowdle. Thoughts?
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
He's in a better situation, and he'll probably get just as much passing work. So yeah.
Okay. Let's go into the wide receivers. I'm just gonna name a bunch of them. Ricky Pearsall, we obviously saw did not play this week. Tyreek Hill, dislocated knee, he's out for the year. That is a tough one. We might not see him again. Malik Neighbors, torn ACL, he's out for the year as well. Terry McLaurin is out against the Chargers. Calvin Ridley has a good chance to play this week. Guys, I think Malik Neighbors out of this is the biggest one because you lost him for the year. But for the week, it's again Terry McLaurin being out again.
Yeah, I mean, the Neighbors one stinks. Of course, it happens in the biggest Giants win in a couple of years in the Dart debut. An optimistic spin is that now, like the dude I don't know how that guy has really been as productive as he's been. He's playing with like a labrum tear. He was playing with like a toe injury, and now he blows out both his ACL and his meniscus. But you know what? He's young. Apparently, Adam Schefter's like, when he comes back for training camp next year, he's going to be the healthiest he's been since high school. And, it's going to be hard for him to top his rookie year. I'm not saying he's going to come back and like scorch earth, but I think he'll be fine in the long term. For my fantasy team, the Fighting Money Maliks, a bit of a blow, but I think he'll come back just fine. Tyreek, with his game so dependent on his speed, we'll see. Yeah. That did not look good. His agent quickly said he'll be back, but I don't know about that.
I don't know. Don't know if he'll be back. Quickly on the tight ends. Noah Fant concussion cleared to play versus Detroit. Brock Bowers trending towards not playing against Indianapolis. Michael Mayer also dealing with concussion. He is out versus Indianapolis. Taysom Hill, he's been activated from the IR versus the Giants. Foster Moreau has also been activated from the PUP list and will face for the Saints. The biggest one here is obviously Brock Bowers. But if Brock Bowers is not able to go, Michael Mayer, who is the current backup tight end for the Raiders, cannot go.
Who's your tight end?
So the backup tight end for the Raiders, if Brock Bowers can still play, is Albert.
Quagbenham?
But yeah.
Former Bronco.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's the next guy over there.
All right. Well, good for Albert, I guess.
Are we starting Albert?
Legend. No. Obawigawam or something?
Absolutely not.
Gary,
how do you say that?
Taysom Hill.
I think it's Okwegbenham.
Bunam? I don't know. It's a lot of syllables.
Oh my goodness. Albert O. That's how we're going. Mr. Albert.
That works.
Sorry, we're benching you. But Gary, starting Taysom Hill over Albert O. I mean, that's not a bad shout. You might get a touchdown from Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I totally forgot about him, to be honest with you. I forgot that he was hurt. And I'm honestly annoyed as an Alvin Kamara owner already because he should be their whole entire offense, and he really hasn't been this far.
Yeah.
But now Taysom Hill, God forbid they don't get him involved on a play. I mean, I hate watching the Saints because it's literally just Taysom Hill. And no matter what, like the way they play the game is the same thing, but for fantasy-wise, Taysom Hill is either 20 points or 2 points. But the way they use him is the exact same. Like, they will force feed him, like, every game. But it's like his 2-point games and 20-point games are the same thing. It's just, does he get 3 touchdowns or 0? So it's like, I can't stand watching the Saints. And I will not be watching a single game once Taysom Hill comes back because he is literally their whole offense, and I hate it.
Wow. I might have encountered, this might be the first Taysom Hill hater I've ever
seen. I despise watching him play football, to be honest with you.
Wow. A valid reason, though, with the Kamara touches getting stolen.
Yeah.
One thing that I did just think about, though, is Taysom Hill, heartbeat of the team, he'll do anything, he'll serve any role. I don't really know if they're going to get him the ball as much this year as they have in years past because it's a completely new coaching staff. Why? Kellen Moore has no obligation to get Taysom Hill the ball. He originally was Sean Payton's guy. Then Payton steps down. Dennis Allen he was already on the staff. He got promoted. So technically kind of just an extension of whatever they were doing in the Payton era. So it's like, all those guys love Taysom Hill. And he's valuable enough to keep on the roster as a utility guy. But are they going to get him 10 to 15 touches certain weeks now? Probably not. So I always like Taysom Hill because free agent waiver wire tight ends are always a trash heap. So I could always, that was the most fun dart throw in the game. but I just don't know if that's going to be the case anymore with the new coaching staff there.
Well, let me ask you guys. Let me tell you guys this. Caden on TikTok, he just said, "I started Taysom Hill over T.J. Hawkinson." What do you guys think?
Hey, it doesn't look bad so far. I mean, I think T.J. Hawkinson got a catch in the first quarter, like the beginning of the first quarter, and hasn't done a thing since. So
No.
I think, I mean, T.J. Hawkinson, better player, but worse situation because Wentz and McCarthy it's not a great duo for success.
No.
It's tough. It's tough sledding. I was in on T.J. Hawkinson this year. It's just not working. Not working. We got a lot of questions coming in on TikTok, so let me start dishing out questions. Tyler Warren or Darren Waller this week? Both have been looking pretty good. Tyler Warren in the past few weeks, but Darren Waller, I will say, broke out last week, had a crazy thing. Are you willing to start Darren Waller over Tyler Warren? Rookie versus veteran.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think Darren Waller is a 1-week wonder. However, I also don't think he's going to give you 17 points a game. So I want to see him do it again to say that I'll be starting him over Warren. So I'll go with Tyler Warren.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk. I mean, Warren, especially if it's PPR, even if it's not, I'm still starting Warren. Despite him not having, I think he has a touchdown on the year. It wasn't a receiving touchdown; it was a rushing touchdown. Who cares? They're gonna he's gonna have at least probably 7, 8, close to 10 targets. That is in fantasy football. That stuff is gold for the tight end position. Waller, of course, now he decides to play good football after my Giants kicked the bucket with him and wasted a high draft pick getting him. I hope he balls out, and he has a great chance to with Tyree, going down for the year. But even in that game where Tyreek Hill missed a good portion of the game, he only had 3 targets, and he only played 20% of the snaps. So maybe we're having a different conversation in 5 or 6 weeks once Waller's fully up to speed, and maybe he is legitimately a top 5 tight end again in the league. Who knows? But it's Tyler Warren all day right now.
Well, I guess we're all going then with Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren, our guy. Let's see, who else do we got? D1 saying, do you like Woody Marks or Chase Brown this week? Is it bad I want Woody Marks?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think it's bad. I might agree with you, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think that's saying more about Chase Brown's situation than how good Woody Marks is.
For sure.
Yeah. TJ saying Goff or Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray taking on the 0-4 Tennessee Titans. Jared Goff taking on the 2-2 Cincinnati Bengals.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I think I want to lean Kyler, but Goff has been playing very well in fantasy. So I think I'm going to take the slight edge on Goff and also bank on the Cincinnati defense being horrendous.
That's a good point. How many yards has Kyler ran for this year? 150 no touchdowns? Because I always feel like personally I default to the running quarterback for fantasy.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Those guys give you a baseline of 3 to 5 points and maybe a rushing touchdown. That's a full, I'll take that. Anything you add passing is icing on the cake. But even with that, I actually think I'll go Goff too, because
okay.
I don't know why I'm wasting time here rambling. I just think the Lions, to steal one of your phrases from earlier, are cooking with grease. They're back to doing their thing, and Kyler has not been as good. Looking at the stats, he just hasn't really been that good this year. So give me Jared.
All right, TJ, we got Jared Goff all around the horn. Let's go with Chatty saying Woody Marks or Rashad White.
I'm gonna go White.
I'll go White too. I don't really know much about this
I'll
Woody
take it.
Marks character
All of us
yet.
are taking White. We're all taking the same guys.
Oh, wait,
Daniel
dude,
saying
Woody Marks got 21 touches last week? Sorry.
Yeah.
he balled.
Yeah.
He balled.
He had a great week last week.
All right, yeah. I think we're still going White for now. Yeah.
All right, White it is.
Woody. Dang.
All right. Daniel asking Rico or Michael Pittman. I would say Michael Pittman. I'm nervous on Rico. I don't mind him if you need to start him, but if it's him versus a guy that we can start every week, I'm going Michael Pittman.
I agree.
Man, we're all the same. Yeah, Pittman's been really. I mean, he's getting 11 catches last 2 weeks, 2 touchdowns. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones. He likes him.
Indiana Jones. All right, same ones all around. Tori saying Ladd or Goddard at the flex. Ooh, Ladd McConkey
That's such an insane quote. We have to ask.
You know, I tell you, if Tori was asking this last year, you'd probably say Tori's on something because of Ladd McConkey's breakout. But it's a genuine question these days, and I think I'm actually I'm going to take Goddard. I'm going to lean on Goddard.
Whoa.
I'm going to go with Ladd just because the upside's still there. And I know Goddard had a good week. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? He caught 2 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to do that again. It's just the classic, tier 3 tight end where it's like they'll give you a 15-point week and then a lot of 3 to 4 point weeks. Ladd hasn't done much either, so that's not going off a lot. But I think I'm going to go with the best player here, and that's Ladd McConkey.
Ian, you're our tiebreaker. Ladd or Goddard?
Oh, man. I was about to do the biggest cop-out and say if it's PPR, it's McConkey. If it's non-PPR, it's Goddard. But that would just be the ultimate tiebreaker. So considering I am a PPR guy, I would go McConkey because he has the higher floor, and I'd rather take him with 3 catches for 30 yards compared to what I think the floor is for Goddard, which is maybe like a catch for 10 yards, and then you're really like royally toast.
Okay.
I don't feel good if I'm in either spot, either banking on Goddard falling into the end zone or hoping McConkey, figures his stuff.
Goddard's getting in the end zone this week. Anytime touchdown, go get that parlay.
All right.
That's what it is. Well, Tori, Ladd McConkey, 2 over 1. Kevin asking Hunter Henry against the Bills or Darren Waller against the Panthers. Henry's looks good in fantasy. He's a touchdown machine with Drake May. Drake May's looks phenomenal. But I have to lean Darren Waller solely because obviously not just because of the breakout last week, but also because Tyreek Hill is out for the season. And after Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington's the next guy there. So Darren Waller's the number 2 guy there.
I am going to go with Henry, I think. He's looked very good. And again, I don't think this 1 week was a fluke for Darren Waller, but again, it's his first game after a year or 2 years, I think. I want to see him, come back and do it again before I'm 100% comfortable with starting him over premier guys like Hunter Henry, who I think is tight end 3 in fantasy right now. So I'll go with Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I can't believe a Patriots fan just took a Dolphins player over a Patriots player.
Can we just hold on? Can we just point the fact that Patriots fantasy players are horrendous?
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, Mac Jones isn't there anymore. It's not. You said it. The quarterback is.
I mean, he made Kendrick Bourne look like Randy Moss on Thursday night.
Yeah, he did.
That was nuts. That is like the weirdest duo in the league. I'm taking Henry. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's fallen in the end zone 3 times in the last 2 weeks. And I think tonight, I've already said I'm excited for the game. I think maybe the Patriots keep it super close. I think it has the potential to be really high scoring. And I know Hunter Henry is going to be on the field a lot more than not Dallas Goddard. We're not talking about him. Than Darren Waller. So give me Henry.
Okay. You sure you don't want to switch your pick to Goddard over to Ladd McConkey since you mentioned his name again?
No, I just maybe that's what the Giants need. They need to trade for Dallas Goddard, and they'll be a Super Bowl contender. He's just always
yeah. Sounds good to me. Tori, thanks for the roses. Coleman, Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones this week? I don't know if you can bench Daniel Jones. He's actually been pretty good, which is really crazy that I said that out of my mouth. Sorry, Ian. Also, don't listen to that either. Daniel Jones looks like he's having an MVP season. Should I just start saying that to you, Ian?
Again, like I don't feel like everybody's like, oh, the Giants are so poverty, like they just let these guys walk out the door. But
it's.
Did you watch Daniel Jones and the Giants last week?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm rooting for the dude. And is he having an MVP year? You're damn right. Is it a Matt Ryan level MVP year? I know that's kind of an obscure reference, but like it totally is. Like fine player, but just everything is falling into place for play caller, system, weapons.
Yeah,
he's doing it. He's doing the thing. Let's start Daniel Jones.
I start Daniel Jones as well.
Oh
that's
my
funny.
God, Kyler Murray benched over Daniel Jones.
Oh, that's funny. I'm saying that because I actually just dropped Daniel Jones for Justin Fields. So it's
but
Fields
Justin
season,
Fields has the
ladies and
mobility.
gentlemen.
Yeah,
It's Justin
Daniel
Fields season,
does
ladies
too.
and gentlemen. He does too.
Vanilla Vic, the better nickname.
oh
Not
my
really, actually.
God.
Indiana Jones is pretty sweet, but
Indiana Jones. I liked Indiana Jones. Banana. Genti or Scadabo? Genti playing against the Colts, Scadabo playing against the Saints. Listen, I messed up last week and I said to bench Genti because he hasn't been producing. And yeah, he listen, I take it all back. You have to start Genti. It's just he shut me up so quick last week.
I believe that I went with Genti in that question. I'm just going to throw that out there. But
no, you did.
You went with. I would hope everybody goes with Genti. Listen, just because he's been, outside of last game, not great so far, you can't bench a player like that. Like you just can't. Not this early into the season. You have to wait it out. I know he, has not lived up to the hype, but there's going to be a game where he pops off and you have him on your bench, and that's exactly what happened last week. And those are the worst things for fantasy because now you probably lose your week after making that change because the guy that you started over him, do you really think he's going to give you more?
I managed to win by just 2 points. I managed to win by 2 points.
That's actually unbelievable considering
despite coaching malpractice.
Right, exactly.
My goodness, it was horrendous. I was sweating.
I'm gonna go with Genti here.
Okay.
Yeah, that there's no question. Even if you can't kind of go and picking up where you just left off. You can't be mad at yourself if you bench Scadaboo and he has 30 and Genti has 20. Like
you can't be
there's just like no real rationale for why you would play one guy over the other.
Yeah.
So and I'm a Giant fan. Like it's no slight to Cam, but like Ashton is supposed to be this generational player, and he just had the best game of his young career. You have to set it and forget it, and you build the rest of your lineup around that every week.
I must say, I do like Scadabo. He is looking pretty good.
He's been good too.
Yeah.
Especially with the way Dart's going to run the ball. Like, they're just going to be – he's quick and shifty. Scadaboo's just going to run over you. It's a fun duo for sure.
We got a few more minutes left, guys. I'm just going to start naming the questions. You guys are going to say this or that, like whoever you pick. And then we move on to the next question to get all these questions in. Lyndon saying May or Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones, baby.
You know what? I'm on the Pats train. May.
Okay.
Yeah, give me Drake May on this. He's been looking good.
Oh, there it is.
I had to. Listen. He's looked good. Tony, how do you feel about Chris Godwin this week? Chris Godwin going against Seattle this week. I think you're starting with a risk. No, this one's just starting with a risk.
I am a Godwin owner, so start him. I've always been a Chris Godwin guy.
He's got a high ceiling.
I feel good about Godwin. He had 10 targets last week. Although he didn't produce, the opportunities were there. I think he's going to have another high-volume game today.
Jordan Love, go. Jalen Waddle or Rico Dowdle? Give me Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle.
I'll go Waddle now that he's the wide receiver on that offense.
Okay. Penguin father, Dak Prescott or Justin Fields?
Penguin father.
Ooh. Fields.
Give me Fields.
Yep, I'm going Fields as well.
Sutton, Territory McMillan, or Deebo Samuel? Just start one.
Ooh.
That one's a
That's
tough one.
Man.
I'll tell you, Sutton's going against Philadelphia, Territory McMillan's going against Miami, and Deebo is going against the Chargers.
It's definitely not Pat McMillan with that offense, unless he's just been great and I'm just not. I didn't know that.
He's been solid. Like, he's been good, but nothing to, like, completely rave about. I'll make it easy. I'm going to go with Sutton. I'll go with Sutton today.
I was going to go there, too. He made a great catch last week, did he not? Like some insane play. I feel like Cortland Sutton is never really that good in fantasy, but the Broncos offense is starting to figure it out. So, I'll ride the Cortland Sutton train.
I'm going to ride the Sutton train as well. Drew saying Rico or Wan'Dale Robinson. Give me Wan'Dale with him as the wide receiver 1.
I agree. Dude's going to be a PPR magnet now. Guy's going to have like 7 catches for 40 yards routinely. It's going to be awful.
Yeah, I agree.
What about Rico and Jalen Waddle? Give me Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I think do we just have that same question? I'm gonna go with Waddle as well.
Yeah, Waddle all around. Why do so many people own Rico Dowdle? People are in bad spots.
I guess. Yeah,
Chuba's out. Everybody's panicking. But everybody's panicking because all their running backs have also been horrendous this season.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I have to start him in a 14-team league, but I have to start him. So I'm in tough shape right now. Listen to this, right? I have Tyreek Hill, who just got hurt, obviously, for the season. Now I have Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, and someone else on my bench who are all on a bye. So this week I am starting just an absolutely, boom or bust lineup to hopefully get me a win this week.
That would be a huge win for your program.
Yeah,
that would be like that.
Crazy.
Amber, Territory McMillan, or Travis Etienne?
I'll go with Etienne.
Yeah, me too. Guy ball out last week. He's balling out this year. He's
for no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason, indeed. Dylan, Sutton, or he says Allen. Do we have an idea of who Allen could be?
Keenan, maybe.
Keenan Allen. Yes, Keenan Allen. Give me Keenan Allen.
Who's the other player in the conversation?
Cortland Sutton.
I'm gonna go with Sutton.
Oh man, dude, I'll break the tie with Keenan Allen. That's just that's a classy PPR guy right there. That guy is the highest of the high floor guys.
For sure.
We got, let's see, maybe one more question we're going to take here before we wrap this up. Juwan Johnson or Dallas Goedert? Goddard.
I have to go with my guy, Dallas Goedert, at this point.
I'll go with Goddard. Juwan Johnson's coming in questionable this week, so something to watch out for.
Taysom Hill's coming for his reps.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just swing a little bit with Goddard. A little bit. Mm-hmm. Actually, we got 2 more quick quarterback questions. Josh Allen or Drake May?
Josh Allen. Same thing with the Genti argument.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen.
I'm hoping that was a joke.
Well, and he's got that question. Josh, last question. Start Dak or Justin Herbert? Give me Herbert.
Herbert.
Prescott. For fantasy, Herbert's not that great, in my opinion. Prescott isn't much better, but he's having a great year.
All right. And we're taking ETN over Devon A-Chain this week.
Oh.
No.
I just want to see if I can get you guys off guard. I thought I could get you guys off guard. Just say yes to that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you got to start A-Chain.
That's my RB1 right there. I can't slight my guy.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that's gonna do it in this week's show, guys. It was a great show. We did finally get TikTok working, as we noticed. Finally got it working. spent 30 minutes, half the show trying to freaking get it going. But Ian, I appreciate you coming on the show. Hopefully it's not the end of you coming on as well. Appreciate you. And obviously let the viewers know where they can follow you all over social media.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is awesome. This is like the best use of the Sunday morning in a long time. But yeah, you can, I have it low on the screen, but on Instagram, X, TikTok, even though I'm awful at TikTok, feel free, Ian Nicholas TV, especially if you're in the Maryland area. That's where most of my posts will be about, because I work at a local TV station in Maryland. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate this. This is a lot of fun.
Of course, for all of you listening on TikTok, Ian Nicholas TV, you got to go check him out. Again, like he said, if you're in the Maryland area, go check out Draper Media, because he's that anchor, he's that reporter, he's that commentator, he's the one and only, the best on Draper Media. Don't tell anyone else on Draper Media. Don't tell them. But again, Gary, always a pleasure having you on. You can go follow him all over social media at GDPicks. I'm Fernando. I'm your host of SportsTimeHQ. We're here every single Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern and every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for our waiver wire show. Again, we will see you all on Tuesday.